Hello, friend, and welcome to the U-Turn podcast. This is the absolute place for you if you are ready to create a business, a career, a personal brand, or just a life that you are so proud of. And every single week, I'll be bringing you PhDs, subject matter experts, psychology practitioners, business leaders, all onto the show to elevate your success in your work and also your life so that you can leave a legacy, you can amplify your authority, and you can really skyrocket the amount of opportunities that you are creating for yourself in your career, whether you're in corporate or you're a business owner. My name is Ashley Stahl. I'm an international best-selling author of the book U-Turn. Get unstuck, discover your direction, and design your dream career. And most importantly, I'm the CEO of Wise Whisper Agency. I'm a top 100 TEDx speaker on the internet, and it inspired me to start Wise Whisper because my company now has a completely done-for-you process to get your signature talk written and booked on stage. In fact, we've written more than 100 TEDx talks, and we've placed more than 100 clients on stage as speakers for TEDx events. And now I'm on a mission to help every change maker that I know impact millions and share their story. So right now, I'm excited to bring you right into this week's episode.
U-Turn friends, how many times have I had Terri Cole on the show? At least twice. Maybe it's the third time. We're here. I forever want her to come back because she's just so full of wisdom, of value. She is one of the only women I know that there's not one person, because people are real with me. And people say, oh, I really like this person. There's this thing I don't like. Everybody just loves you, including me. And if you don't know Terri, my friends, she has her book Boundary Boss. She also has a book called Too Much. It's all about codependency, boundaries. Her work is killer. She is a therapist, a coach for so many, especially some star-studded creatures that you see on People magazine. And she has a mastermind that I want to ask her about because I think a lot of you would get value from some mentorship, and that's not something I offer at all. And I just figured today we're going to jam about life. We're going to talk about some life topics, how to make sense of things, clarity, healing, and this is just the perfect episode for you if you want to grab your little notepad, take some notes, pour into yourself. Terri,
Hi, Ash.
we're here. We're here.
I'm so happy.
I'm so happy. Do you know what I always wonder about you? Because I'm pretty good at this, but I think you're better at it, is everybody likes you. What do you think the secret is? I know you're going to say being yourself, but give me something. Like, why do you think?
I think my mother really liked me,
Mm.
which is like a weird place to start. But to be honest, I had 3 older sisters who all really liked me too, like in a way that, there was really people like, sibling rivalry. I'm like, no, actually, I do not. So part of it is, for me, there's an expectation. Not that I expect everyone to like me, but I also put in an effort in friendships. I remember what we talk about. I think about you when I'm not with you. Even if I haven't talked to you in 9 months, you're still on my mind around things, or I'll check in about something. So I don't know. I think maybe being an empath, I mean, there's lots of empaths. I'm not sure. I think, honestly, yes, it's because I'm myself, but really like people. And I go out of my way to find, you and I we have dropped deep so many times in the time that we've known each other, whether it was in person, whether it was out in California, whether it was on the phone, that, it's hard to do. For me, I don't do a lot of fluff.
Yeah.
And I think
people crave not to be in the fluff, but it's actually hard for a lot of other people to get out of it because it's so vulnerable for them. I feel like in our community, it's easy to just get straight to it. I almost struggle to get in the fluff, which sometimes is the appropriate answer. If I'm at like a light networking event and then I'm sitting next to the and I have 4 seconds to say hi to John Doe, it's better for me to be like, oh, the rain outside. How are you? And instead I'm like, what is your biggest trauma? Do tell. And
totally.
Yeah.
I don't do the fluff. I really dislike the fluff to a degree because I'm so inspired by and energized by real connections.
Speaking of, I have some updates for you, Terri.
Oh, please do tell.
Okay, update number 1. I broke up with my boyfriend. I was
Oh
within
my
a year
goodness.
and a half. I know.
How are you?
Terri and I didn't have time to catch up before we hit record, so this is just literally happening. I was like really sad because I really thought he was the guy, and I've said you say that every time until they're not the guy. It's like it's the guy till it's not. But we just were not aligned on some things that we want to have kids together, how that would look. He's such a good guy. And I'm kind of back at it. And speaking about being real, I think when your heart breaks, you're a little more no nonsense. I don't have the same energy to do the games with people. And I haven't rushed myself to get back into dating because I'm like, oh, I don't want to put heartbreak on heartbreak. I'm too vulnerable for somebody to mess with me,
Mm.
you know?
Yeah.
But I did go on 2 dates. One guy was the most chivalrous guy I've ever met, and that was something I was really craving. It was the fires during LA, and he picked a spot, and I was like, hey, it's the fires. I'm actually at my parents' house an hour out of the city. Do you want to reschedule? He's, no, I could just find a place right by your parents and pick you up. I'm like, what? It's 2025. I didn't know that was still.
You're like, you could, and that would be really nice.
Yeah, I couldn't believe my eyeballs almost popped out on a text message.
Wow.
And then the second one was the best looking guy I've ever seen in my freaking life. And I embarrassed myself. He showed up at the dinner and I went, whoa.
Right to his face?
Yeah. And he went, whoa, how are you?
You're like, hi, howdy.
He looked like he was like 6'2". He looked like he was the star of a Netflix that was going to go catch Osama bin Laden. Let's go get him. He was big. He was like 225 pounds of muscle. Hey, girl. I'm like, whoa.
Wow.
Not my guy either, but I think I just don't care much anymore. But what's interesting is both of the guys, I said, hey, I don't think you're my guy, but you're amazing. And they're like, can you give me feedback? And I literally gave both of them candid feedback.
I love it. I feel like this is a thing. You're creating it. Let's come up with a great name for it. And we can have people as they're dating. This can be a thing. And you could be on dating profiles. Are you into, we'll come up with it. We'll come up with a name. But the mutual, even if it doesn't work out, would you be generous enough to give me honest feedback? Because that is a real generosity. That's a generous offer.
Oh, Terry. And one of them, the feedback was, it could have been dicey waters, but I gave it honest feedback.
Was it?
Recently got a divorce and the ink was barely dry. He'd been separated a long time. He was in a lot of financial transition. I think his divorce really hit him up with his finances, so he felt a little unstable to me. And he also gained 50 pounds during his divorce. And I hate to say it this way, and I hope nobody hates me here, but I wasn't attracted to him because I go to the gym like 5 days a week, and right when we sat down, he's like, yeah, I lost myself. I gained 50 pounds. And I had no judgment on it. But when he asked me for feedback, I was just like, I feel like I'm a boat and I'm trying to dock in some calm waters and have a family. And I feel like your divorce isn't, the ink's not dry. Your finances feel really unsteady. And you don't seem like you're happy with your body right now. And I really take care of my health. So I literally
you said it.
I said it.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
And good for you. I mean, listen, the truth is, it is a kindness. And if someone, first of all, though, it speaks to your picker getting better and better, because to have two men evolved enough to actually want honest feedback, it takes courage to ask someone for honest feedback. That really speaks to the quality of human being. I say, go you. All right, do you want to hear a hopeful story about dating?
Yeah. And I love this into content. This is the vibe. This is you.
This is what we're doing.
Yeah.
My friend Sabrina Soto.
Yeah, I love her so much. Just was with her 2 weeks ago.
Oh my God, of course.
So
do we know all the same fucking people? Do we just literally know the same people?
We do. Yeah, I love 90% of our mutual connections. There's a 10% I don't love that I've curiously wanted to ask you about, but I also don't want to be a toxic person telling you I don't like somebody, so I haven't asked you about the 10%.
Please do.
Yeah.
You could just do initials. Anyway, I'm getting back into my manifesting, partly because I just had her on the show, and I went out to LA and did her show, which is dropping next week, by the way. You guys can watch it on Hulu. It's called The Sabrina Soto Show. It's so good. It was so much fun. She's the cutest. But what she was just talking about, manifesting, she's engaged to be married to Nate, and she just got her own TV show after 10 years of manifesting the shit out of it. So there's something about what you said that I wanted to parlay into what she said right before she met Nate. She said, Tara, and then it's exactly what happened to me right before I partnered with Vic.
Oh, wow.
So she said, I went on my first date with Nate, and we're talking, and I know he lives in Chicago. And she's, first of all, I'm not moving to Chicago. I own my own home and I have a daughter. So I am grounded in LA. And if that's a problem, if you don't want to travel, if you don't, and he was like, okay, not a problem. But I'm also, for clarity, I'm never moving to Chicago. I'm not interested. This is my home. And he was like, okay. And now they're engaged and he's moving here. But her point was, in the past, I would be on eggshells and pussyfoot around and sort of not want to ruin it just in case. Maybe we'll just be long distance and blah, blah, blah. And she was like, I was so effing over the whole dating scene and sort of being with unaligned people that I just thought, I have nothing to lose. I have an amazing life. I'm happy in my life, right? Yes, I want partnership, but I'm not desperate for partnership. And I'm absolutely not self-abandoning. Now, this is major transformation from when she and I met when Boundary Boss was coming out, and she read the book. I didn't even know her. And she just contacted my PR person and I was on there, and we just started this friendship where I've just seen her absolutely transform simply by actually putting healthy boundaries in her life and not being she's still a ridiculous codependent, but not being as much of a high functioning codependent as she was.
Yeah. I love that woman. And we actually brought you up the other night, and she was showing me her engagement pictures and how romantic and sweet he was with her. And what I will say that I'm doing a lot of work on right now is my pain body, like Eckhart Tolle pain body work. I'm doing a lot of work on what was my first memory, what was the story I made about the world that I've carried with me. And everybody has a different one, right? And I would love your take on that. For me, I have, and I love that everybody's listening to this because I hope they start to reflect. I know that I feel this feeling in my chest of a desert that needs rain, like this desperation, this hope, this like sadness. And I've always met that feeling with masculine energy. Oh my God, I need something. Oh, I better hustle. And a lot of people don't have that relationship with it. They fall apart or whatever. I go nuts. And then I kind of hate my life because I hustle so hard that I'm burnt out and nothing feels fun. And I used to do career coaching, right? So job hunting is a numbers game. I could easily look at dating that way and be like, great, I just need to hit Hinge so hard until I have carpal tunnel and go to every party.
Right.
Which, by the way, Terri, I haven't even caught you up on this, but Dean Graziosi and Tony Robbins have me doing speaking engagements on their behalf. And so I'm potentially going on a little bit of a speaking tour. And I have my first speech in 2 weeks with Brene Brown, who is like,
I'm dead.
I'm gonna have a little poopy pants moment.
That's
better wear
so
a diaper
awesome
with my hair and makeup. But point being, I feel like I'll meet somebody on the road, maybe not, I don't know. But my pain body, I'm noticing I matched with this random guy on Hinge. And I haven't done anything on there because I don't want to try yet. I'm not there yet where I want to push, which is a big achievement for me to not want to push. It's kind of a great thing. So I just let whoever comes and finds me come and find me on there. And if they're interesting, I'll go out. And this random guy came and find me the other day, some plastic surgeon in Beverly Hills and I immediately felt my pain body. Oh, he's like handsome and he's this and he's that. And then I was like, oh God, I'm in my pain body. I feel the feeling. I don't even know this guy. And it's here. And for the first time in my life, I'm turned off by people who bring out my pain body instead of being turned on and interested and leaning in. So now, will I go out with him or not? I don't know. If he wants to ask me, seems like he will. Sure. But it's not coming from that whole operating system isn't running me.
Right. So for those of you guys listening, if you don't know Eckhart Tolle's work, is it Tolle or Tolle?
I feel like people say both.
Okay.
Tolle. Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway, if you're not, it's basically what Ashley is saying is it used to be that she would get activated by an interaction with someone, and then she would want to pursue that person. She would feel like immediate scarcity, okay, so this guy's a doctor that like whatever the story is, but like you're saying, it wasn't a great feeling and it wasn't one you want to continue having. So it's major growth to be able to slow down enough, self-reflect enough to go, yeah, this shit is familiar in a way that is not good.
Yeah.
And so I'm going to pause because I'm going to give you an assignment.
Give it to me, Terri.
Because listen, babe, your guy is out there. And if you listen to me, I promise you, I want you to think about yourself as the lighthouse, right? You are the lighthouse. And when we are in pain body, when we have bad experiences, when we sort of lose hope, we want to have hope, but we kind of lose hope, have bad experiences, rejection, painful. It's this layer of mud, another layer of mud, another layer of mud, another layer of mud. And it's dimming this bright, beautiful love light that you have, that is you. And for you, all of the masculine energy, all the forward motion and all this profound need to control is another thing dimming the shit out of your love light. So as you step back, as you really work to surrender to what is, to allow, to start really thinking about and fantasizing about, sort of visualizing, doing the way that Sabrina manifests, right? You don't need a huge ass vision board, just what experiences do you want to have? It's not like the 70 qualities of the guy. It's the how do you want to feel in relation to someone? Me, I want my nervous system to be completely relaxed because the person is trustworthy, because I'm not walking on eggshells, because I'm not afraid of them, because I don't think they're going to say something that's going to hurt my feelings or be mean because they're in a bad mood, right? You decide how you want to feel, but that's what I want you to put on that little piece of paper. And literally, Sabrina does an 8x10 or like a word page or whatever it is. And she prints it out in 4 places, puts it in this like a laminated pocket type of a thing, has 1 in her shower because she's nuts, and then has 3 in the other parts of the house. And every time you see it, and this is the most important part, not to get all woo, because I generally don't talk about this stuff, even though I do it in my life.
Yeah.
Is the most important aspect of this is that when you see it, you have to take a moment and feel the feelings of having it. So if we visualize that those feelings of security, being loved for who you are, being adored, right? Being held in high esteem, having someone who's so pumped that you are smart and beautiful and can wait to be in your front row, being like, yeah, let's go. You don't have to worry about threatening them because you don't. They want you to be as big and bright and beautiful as you are, and more. They challenge you to be more, and then to not feel compelled to be if you don't.
Right.
To take a year off if you want, or whatever your dream is, Ash. This is what I was just dreaming for you. But, you'll have your own. And see what happens, because the less you do, your assignment is to do less.
Yeah.
And to be more. Do things that turn you on. I just did a week in Costa Rica with Sarah Perel, and I was kind of helping out with some of the facilitating, whatever. But it was erotic intelligence was what the entire week was about, which was unbelievably great. And obviously with my friggin' repressed waspy background, it was so confronting. I was like, oh. But my point is, there's this 2 prompts that she gives, which I'm giving you, which is to really get into, this is talking about life. I turn myself on by, we don't really mean sensuality. You could mean sexuality, sure, fine. But what are the things that make you have this chi, this energy flowing through you, where you feel enlivened by life? I turn myself on personally, and I'm going to ask you, by jumping on my trampoline every day, by not being on the internet and not working until 11 a.m., unless I absolutely have to, but I generally don't. I spend the beginning of the day meditating with my husband, having coffee, feeding our chickens and our geese, taking our dog out for a long walk, like actual real, as my friend Jenny Pasloff would say, real motherfucking life.
Yeah.
Before we get into all the other stuff, because all of the running, the hustling, right? This is, my ambition back in the day. Now it's more balanced, but I was you, Ash. I was just full throttle, full speed ahead, running a talent agency, simultaneously doing an accelerated master's program at NYU. Are you mental? Who does that? Nobody.
Yeah.
Right? And I thought, I'm just ambitious. And then, of course, in therapy, I was like, oh, I thought I was running towards something. Oh, look, I just found out I'm running away from something. Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Yeah. Life and my core wounds and all the other shit that my father wounds and all the things I needed to deal with. Anyway, longest way around the barn, people. I swear to God, I'm giving it the prompts. The
Mm.
prompts are, I turn myself on when, and I turn myself off when. So we start to really do more things on the I turn myself on when, and then add things to it.
What would be
What
some
else would,
examples of some answers for people if they're struggling to kind of ground that prompt? I turn myself on.
sure.
I'm sure some
I,
people are like, I turn myself on with my vibrator, but I turn myself on when I put on candles in the house. Like, I'm guessing that's an example.
yes, I turn myself on when I unplug from technology
Yeah.
and ground myself in real life. Go out and hug a tree,
Yeah.
right? Go into the woods if you can. If you're in a city, go to a park, right?
Yeah.
I turn myself on when I let myself read the things I'm interested in, when I take the time to do the things that light me up that I would do for free. So much of the time, we don't do those things. I have people in my practice, my therapy practice, who love to sing, but they didn't quote unquote make it as a singer, so they don't sing. And I'm like, fucking sing.
Yeah.
That is a perfect example of something. If you love it, do it. And then we can also think about this from the lens of sexuality and sensuality. I turn myself on when I have a beautiful bubble bath. And, there are those things as well. But I want you to look at it from the macro, that
Mm.
what are the things that make you feel alive?
Mm.
Do more of them. If you are in a relationship, do more of them so that aliveness is between you in the relationship. New experiences in a relationship are like one of the hottest things that you guys can do, and one of the best things to keep you together, because you're constantly making new current memories.
Mhm.
Oh, remember last week when we went to that little cafe that we never went to, that mom and pop store, and the food was terrible, but the conversation was amazing.
Right.
That's a new experience. Anyway, that's my 2 cents on you.
No, I love it.
You're going to remove all of this one thing at a time, because listen, babe, I love you. I know you. And I know that you've been a workaholic forever, and me too.
Oh.
So, I mean, listen, we do our best. I'm probably more balanced now, but I'm also 20 years older than you, or whatever I am. I won't do
Funny
a lot
you
about
say
it.
that, because it was actually an act of courage. I mean, the person I was with, who I love, we were just not aligned, but it would have made me be more of a workaholic, because he was attracted to a woman that works hard, because he works hard and he likes the conversation about work. And so
Yeah.
part of the decision, and there's many parts, right? But
Yeah.
regardless of how much you love someone and respect them and look up to them and all that stuff, is the version of me I'm going to be in the rest of my life here who I want to keep being? And my answer was,
Yeah.
no, I don't want to work like this. I don't want to feel like it would satisfy my partner to work at this pace. And so a lot
No.
of my decision is to be with somebody that respects the spaciousness and is as capable as I am in their career, so that there's
Yeah.
space for seasons and rhythms. And there's so many reasons that relationship didn't work out. And I'm going to miss him, because he's such a great guy and
Mhm.
such good companionship and understanding. So I forever send him like love and light, truly, because I'm like,
Of course.
what an amazing guy. And I look at my life now, and I love that you're talking about really manifestation, like feeling into things. One of the spiritual laws that I still am grappling with is the law of Dharma, which is interesting because a lot of my career
Mhm.
coaching has to do with that. In the past, I feel like in a lot of ways I'm doing my Dharma. Like these TED Talks and these speeches
Mhm.
that we write for people and with people, is I'm in a gift. Like the highest level of
Mm.
professional comes in, people that have 5 New York Times bestsellers, people, billionaires, whatever.
Mhm.
And it's wild. I'm able to take their life and turn it into an 18-minute talk,
Right.
and it takes me no time. I'm like, boom, boom. And I could see them get the chills. And I'm like, got it, done. And more than half of our clients are going viral on the internet with their talks.
Exactly.
And out of the past year, we did 68 clients that we wrote their talk and booked them for all sorts of different things. It's a lot. I didn't write the talk, Terry. I have a really good speech writing team. So you give me those eyeballs. At least I didn't write the talk. Now I got talks coming out of the wazoo, because I'm about to give them all myself
Yeah.
with this speaking tour that I might be doing. But of the 68 clients, there's probably 5 that were no fun, right? They were just not
Mhm.
nice, for whatever reason.
Yeah.
And sometimes it feels, when I read about the law of Dharma and spiritual laws, it talks about if you do your Dharma and it's your highest expression and you give the universe what you're meant to give it, and it's all about being of service. You pour into the world, you give your gift, and you get so much back
Mhm.
tenfold. I'm definitely giving my gift and making money in exchange.
Sure.
Am I making crazy wealth where I'm like about to be getting us a private jet this week? Absolutely not. But I don't strive for that. But all of it said, I think sometimes it's hard to make sense of feeling like you're in your Dharma when you have those 5 clients that suck. And you have
Yep.
the 63 who love you and who are so happy. And so I guess my question is, I don't know, what do you make of that sense when there's these spiritual laws and yeah.
I have to look at everything through a psychological lens because that's
Mhm.
really, even though I'm spiritual and I'm into Deepak and all this stuff, I see this from a psychological perspective.
Mm.
And what about you is allowing those 5 people? I feel like you need to build in for you an exit clause, like an exit strategy that if you don't feel like it's a good fit, but I feel like you're a high level people pleaser. And it hence, takes one to know. So
Yeah.
no shade,
I'm like a
obviously.
covert people pleaser because I just
Same.
seem really easygoing.
Yes. This is how high functioning codependents are.
Yeah.
Nobody, because we're so effing capable,
Yeah.
nobody is looking at, oh, we're like a weak-willed pleaser. No, that's not it. But we go above and beyond because we strive for perfection if we're being truthful, which is very different than striving for excellence, which is what we need to be striving for. And so part of it is the ego part. It's like I used to say that, I could literally not like someone. Like I don't like them. And if it came through the grapevine that they didn't like me, I would be like
Bother you.
obsessed. I'd be like, what do you mean? What's not to like? Why? What the hell's wrong with them? Like, not even caring who the source is, just being like, everyone has to like me.
Yeah.
And I will work so hard to be above reproach. So for you, you kill yourself to be above reproach. And when it doesn't work for those 5, which is a small percentage of the number that you had, part of me feels like it's deeper than ego makes it sound like it's bad. That's not what I mean. But there's like a butt hurtness to it. Because the truth is, why are we so invested in 5 miserable fucks?
Yeah.
Like they paid
Yep.
you did what you needed to do, right?
Yeah.
You had 63 other people who
Very
were
happy.
doing a backflip of joy for what
Yeah.
you did. So I would be more interested from a therapeutic standpoint of what is the representation. I'm going to give you 3 questions that you're going to ask yourself and you're going to journal later, and then you're going to tell me. Ready? Because and you guys, everyone can use this.
Yeah.
This is when we're trying to figure out if we might be having a transference. So in that moment, if you go back to that feeling of like how it was when you knew they were not on board, when you knew they were like being pissy and not that nice, who did they remind you of? Question number 1.
Mm.
Where have you felt like that before? Question number 2. How was that behavioral dynamic, you seeking approval, having approval being withheld from you, you sort of working double time to try to get it, them sort of not doing it or moving the goalpost or whatever the experience was for you. And then you're going to write what comes to you. Off the top of your head, is there anything that comes?
The place I was going with that in my head was like, I don't know if it's wanting to please them or it's the belief that them having a problem is quote unquote in my way. Like I could have relaxed, but now you need something that isn't even in the scope of this thing. And now I have to, like a victim, I have to versus I choose to. It's my company. I want to crush it, right?
Right.
Now I have to deal with you, which is like total victim in my head. And then, so I think it's almost the belief that these people have all these needs that I need to deal with. And it's almost like a projection for my people pleaser because I don't want to have needs, right? And if you look at my romantic relationships, there's a lot of them where like I've been accommodating. And then when it starts to get serious, I'm like, wait a minute, this isn't okay with me. And then I have to negotiate and work it out or not, And so
who does that needy person remind you of?
My dad.
Okay. So here's the thing. This is father wound territory. I have a course that I'm happy to give you.
Yes.
And I'm writing a book right now on father wounds. That's my next book, which
Oh,
will come out in
so good,
26.
Terri. You just hit them so right. The book choices you make. You're so on it.
I do feel divinely guided. I swear.
Yeah, I believe it.
There's not one woman that I deeply love who does not have a father wound.
Oh,
I'm not kidding, because that is my core wound, which is so interesting.
Yeah.
I just attract all the father wounded women into my life.
It's like wounds and also astrology signs. You know our friend Krista Williams? You know Krista, right? Yeah, oh my God, I love her. She attracts all
She's the
Gemini.
best.
So you just got father wounds and she's got Geminis and we're just cluster attracting.
We love it. It's so good.
Yeah.
Wait, there was something else I wanted to say to you. Oh, the last thing I'm going to say about those questions, right? And we can put them in the show notes if you want.
Yeah.
They're called the
Yeah, we
3
will.
cues for clarity.
Mhm.
Is why does it matter, right? Why does it matter? Because if you go, that's definitely my father. What we're understanding is that there's something that's, even if you've done a ton of work, there's something that's a little bit still sticky. And so we kind of can just go in and go, okay, what is still sticky? In what way did this person remind me? Are there incidences from the past that still, when I think about them, have a decent charge? And if they do, then write about it. Then
Mm.
ask a close friend to witness. Don't, we just then burn. Do a ritual around it. It's like consciously and intentionally release that experience. Because if it wasn't connected to this core wound, you wouldn't feel the way that you did. It wouldn't have had the power to make you you would just be like, this is life.
Right.
You win some, you lose some. We're still doing a great job. They're still going to get the book and talk.
Yeah.
It wouldn't feel like it wouldn't be so sticky.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Before we go anywhere, can you tell us about your mastermind? Because I feel like the world is, you're just one of very few people that I would, and everybody has a mastermind, but not like you. And so I really want people to know, because I think we're in a weird time after COVID where I feel like a lot of people, whatever anxiety didn't make it out during that, whatever
Yeah.
unwellness didn't make it out, it's here. People aren't
Yeah.
feeling so good. And I feel like your mastermind's got to be like liquid gold in their soul. So just tell me a little bit.
Okay. Let me tell you who it's for,
Yeah.
right? If like you love your life, right? You love the direction you're going, but you want to work more efficiently, or you want more. If you feel like you're killing yourself to get it done, but you're still somehow not getting what it is that you want in life. If you need help, like actual business help. So it's for women who are sort of exhausted. You could be an entrepreneur, you could be a helper, a healer. Last time I had 2 real estate agents, 2 writers. I had an oncologist who lived in London. You know what I mean? And I already have 8 of the women in this group, and I'm only taking 10. So I only have 2 slots left. So what it is, it's a combination business mastermind. So that's everything from, if you want to change careers, fine. If you have a business, but you want bigger numbers, if you want a bigger impact, if you want to make online courses, if you want to have a best-selling book. I mean, when you join the mastermind, you actually get a copy of the book proposal that I got a $1 million book deal to do 3 books. Well, it ended up being 4 if you count the work. I've had a very popular pod for, it'll be 10 years in
Oh
September.
my gosh, Terri, that's so OG. I didn't know you started in 2015.
I did. My God. But there's all of that stuff. So you have the entrepreneurial, the team building, the visibility, tons of how do you do television? How do I write for these these websites that I want to write for to establish myself as an expert? All of that and so much more. And then I have guest experts coming in. We meet weekly. You meet 3 times alone with me. So actually each person gets 3 full 1-hour sessions alone with me. That, I promise you, that alone will change your life.
Wow.
And I do it even though, my friends who have masterminds are like, it's too much. It's too much of you. I'm like, listen, this is not like your mastermind, because that's only one half is the business. The other half is the psychological and the emotional. And I have no idea how to help people do the first part if I don't understand where they are in the second part, which is why I do 3 one-on-one meetings, why we meet every week. And then we have 2 3-day retreats that also we meet. We're going to do, I think, one in San Diego this year in the end of May and one in October. The reality is, if you're looking for a safe and sacred container to be as ambitious as you are, or to be as conflicted as you are, or because I have some people who come in because they're thinking about getting a divorce. And they also have business stuff that they want to talk about. But a lot of times there's an existential loneliness where women who are very ambitious, I'd say, and successful, but maybe they're not happy. And they don't feel like they can talk to their friends about it, because their friends are like, what? You're making all this money. What are you complaining about? You're married. You should be happy. And they're like, but P.S., I'm not. So there's lots of room for all different types of women. And I've had plenty. This is the 3rd cohort that I've done. And I keep it really small and really intimate, because I'm carrying like your charts around for 9 months. You know what I'm saying? So it can't be a lot of people. It can only be a couple people.
Oh, well, I'm going to air this right away. And I feel like There's nobody, if you're listening to this, friends, and I mean, you hear what she does with me, I just really encourage you. You're so powerful, Terri. You've got the light on you. You really do. And you know it. I hope you do. You do. And I love you. Thank you for coming on.
I love you too. This was so much fun. Let's do it again.
So
You come
fun.
back to
Should
my
people
show.
DM you on, I would love to. Should people DM you on Instagram?
They should, but you should go check out the website. You're going to put it in the
show notes.
You put it in the show notes. Okay, great. But yeah, you guys, you can DM me. You can, especially if you're interested. I also have a beautiful community if you're interested. So they're two very different things, but either one is great. More time with TC, you know?
I mean, I'm never done with you. So thank you so much again.
Thank you, my friend. I love you.
Love you.
Thanks for tuning in to the U-Turn podcast. I hope you learned so much in this episode and you're putting it into action today. We would love to hear from you. Slide into my DMs at Ashley Stahl or leave a written review if you're inspired. It would mean so much to us. Be sure to subscribe to the show because, as you know, the more subscribers we get, the better the guests we can bring you. And in the meantime, if you're looking to skyrocket your personal brand and impact millions, head on over to wisewhisperagency.com to learn more about how we are getting clients booked for the TEDx stage.